This is another episode of Moment with the Father, live with me, Matilda, Mama Sai Mottor, and I have with me in the studio Pastor Daniel Adusah Appiah. He is the head pastor of Makane Church International, Old Safo. He's actually here today to bless us with his life story, what he has been through so far. I know he's going to be of a lot of blessing to you out there and to me here in the studio. Pastor Daniel, you're welcome to my studio.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm blessed to be here.
Wow.
It's an honor. It's a pleasure to be here. I should say that I went to your Facebook page to actually look at what you've been doing.
Okay.
And when I look at the people who've sat in this chair, I can say that you are doing a great job.
Ah, thank you.
God bless you. And I count myself not to have apprehended. I believe that I am the least of all those who have been sitting here and those who have ever sat here. So thank you for having me.
You're welcome, and I'm grateful that you've actually taken the pain to go to Facebook and check out on what we've been doing so far.
Yes.
That's very encouraging to know that you are interested in what we are doing here.
Sure.
God richly bless you.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Well, we're going to be delving straight into your life. We want to know, who is Pastor Daniel?
Wow. Thank you. Pastor Daniel, I will say Daniel is a young man, and I have, let me say, I come from the Eastern region, specifically a new area.
Okay.
And I've been around for quite some time. I actually started schooling somewhere in the Volta region, specifically there's a town around the KJB area, around OT, now currently OT region, called Dodi Papase.
Okay.
Yes, so that's where I began schooling, continued for some time, and then later I came to be with my mom in Accra to continue education. I'm sure more questions will come. I'm married by the grace of God. I have 3 children by the grace of God, and I believe God for greater things. Thank you.
Okay. Now, growing up as a child, what were some of your ambitions? Because I know that back at school, don't go like, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an engineer, I want to do that one, I want to do that one.
Sure.
What was your vision? What did you want to become?
Yeah, thanks. I think when I was a child, sure, all of us had that childhood dream of, yes, I want to become a doctor.
Sure.
And so I remember back in those days in the village, around primary 4 or 5, we once had a something about those things, career-related issues in school. And I remember telling my teacher then that I wanted to be a doctor. But it turns out I didn't become a doctor.
But you're still a doctor. Do you know why? We come to you with our issues.
Thank you.
Even though it's not physical, spiritually you're a doctor.
Thank
you fix the things. So you wanted to be a doctor.
Yes.
You're still a doctor. Just that you're doing it spiritually.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think you are right. That's true. It was a vision along the line. So like you are saying, God has directed the vision to do something else that actually perhaps affects more lives
than you ever
so to say. Yes. Thank you so much.
So you wanted to be a doctor.
Yes.
How about your parents? What did they want you to do?
Yes. I must say I was raised single parently by my mom. More.
Okay.
Yes. So my mom, for my mom, she was always ready to push me as far as I can go. So she, supported the idea of me becoming a medical doctor. Yes. And she actually would do everything to help me to get that far. Yes. Yes.
So how many siblings do you have?
We are 2. Myself.
Only 2.
And then, yes, please.
So, is he a sister or a brother?
A sister.
How does she take your calling?
Well, she's good. She respects. She knows the fact that where I have reached is only by the grace of God, and so she gives me that respect. We communicate once a while, though she's now not really close to me as before. She's been really not around and all that, but we communicate, and she respects the fact that when she comes around, visit us, she knows I'm a pastor. She comes with me along to church and my family.
I ask that question because most of the times our siblings go like, Master, we want you to be a doctor, to be a nurse, a lawyer, bring money home. You say you want to be a pastor. I mean, are you going to be bringing money home? So they seriously don't respect the calling. They don't accept it. So they don't even see you as such.
It's true. It's true.
So if you have a family who is rallying behind you, then you're blessed.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing. My mom, I must say, my mom is 100% behind what I do. And my sister, my father, everybody is 100% behind everything that I have done so far by the grace of God.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's go into your ministry. How did you get to know that you had a calling to become a pastor? Did you get any prophecies going ahead of you? Probably when you were young, back at school, some pastors told you, this guy is going to be a pastor, that one says this. Oh, what happened?
Thank you very much. You know, we would all love it. I mean, at times we talk about it. We would all be happy if, you know, we had that spectacular experiences, so to say. But mine wasn't like that.
Okay.
Yes, to be honest. I remember my mom told me a story, but then I was young, so of course I wouldn't really know. But she told me she took me. She actually attended a prayer meeting in Kwashiman. There's a place called Bintu Complex in Kwashiman. There was a prayer meeting there, and she said just at the end of the service, I think the pastor spoke some prophetic words over me and about me, and that I was going to be a man of God and all that. But then, well, I was young by then, so to the best of my knowledge, that's what my mom told me. But growing up, personally, I didn't have any prophecy from anyone. What I had was the godly upbringing from my mom to guide my desires and to actually guide me in what I become or what I became, so to say. So because my mom is a very serious Christian, she raised me up by the grace of God on strict Christian principles. She would go to church and I cannot stay in the house. I stayed also a bit with my grandma, who was a Presbyterian, and Grandma Elizabeth, of blessed memory. She raised me up also in a godly way. Of course, at a very young age, I used to teach my peers in church. I remember in those days, children's service, Presby children's service. I was a teacher, but I was also a young boy. But I was teaching my peers. I don't know by then what I was teaching them. Only God knows. But I didn't have really any spectacular, personally, I didn't have any spectacular experiences. Nobody gave me prophecies, but I grew up in the knowledge and the fear of God because of the training we had in the house. So I also loved God. When my mom, my grandmother, those who brought me up, they loved God. They loved to go to church. My mom loved prayer. Yes, so every Friday there would be all nights. I was young, and she would drag me with going to all nights, going for prayer after prayer and all that. So growing up, I had a desire to really serve God, and also I also had that habit in me, praying and all that. So along the line, I felt that it is right to serve God, and it is right to do the work of God based on my personal experiences.
You'll be coming back to your ministry anyway.
Thank you.
But then let me take you back. Life in general, has there been any struggle?
Wow. Sure. And of course, if you are in this world, Bible says that the life of man on earth is full of troubles. There has been a few issues here and there, of course, with life. You know, one of my, I should say, my life's, I will not use the word crisis, my life's shortfalls, perhaps, is the fact that, you know, I was raised by my mom alone. I didn't have the chance of staying
With the two of them at the same time.
No. I didn't stay ever in my life in a home where mommy is here, daddy is here, and children are here. Never in my life. I've never had that experience. When I grew up, as far as I can remember, my mom and dad were no more. They were
separated.
Not, yeah, they were separated.
Okay.
So we had that issue. At times we had to
go to daddy for a while, come back to mommy.
And so that kind of balancing here and there, of course, it affects in some way. So I think that is one of my major issues. But I believe that the grace of God has really helped. Yes. Because I should say, others who also might have had that experience perhaps wouldn't have gotten to where the grace of God has taken some of us to. So I want to say also that though that was the main thing, the grace of God has been okay for us. Yes, please.
Yes, of course. Somebody who has been raised in a home with two parents, obviously, is different from the one raised by one of the parents.
Yes.
Because it's a different ball game when a woman is training a boy and a man training a boy.
Sure.
They are two different things. Yes, we have exceptional cases where the woman will be that good training, you know, a boy.
And not to cut you, my mommy is that kind of woman. She's the no nonsense kind of person. Yes. So I was raised by my mom, but I can say that if I was being raised by my daddy, I wouldn't have the training that I had.
Okay.
I'm being frank with you. Yes, my daddy.
Well, she is a stronger character.
Yes.
Comparing you to your dad.
Far. My daddy is the quiet. My daddy doesn't even. Yes, he doesn't really talk to you.
Okay.
Once a while, he will say one or two words, and then that's all. He expects you to
know the right thing and do it.
So I wouldn't blame him. That's how he is. That's his
nature.
Yes. So I must say, though my mommy raised me, she's very strong and disciplined. I tell you.
She's on point.
I tell you. Yes.
Now, how long have you been in ministry?
Ministry. I should say when I started the work of God, that was somewhere in 2002. 2002. Okay. So let me say 20 years.
Wow.
But then I was young though, but I started something. Started active God's work, preaching here and there, doing the things of God, trying to follow.
You are with the lighthouse, right?
Yes.
Did you start off at the lighthouse or later on that you joined lighthouse?
Yes. When I started, okay, I should say when I started ministry when I was in the secondary school. Yes. I remember when I was in Form 1, I had a senior who by then was in Form 2. Okay. But he was, so to say, audacious. He was very much on fire for God. So I don't know how come. I don't know how it happened, but one day we met. He met me on my way home after school, and we spoke, and that was the beginning. So he took me along. He goes to places, goes for prayer meetings, he goes for all nights, and he actually carried me along. And it was some form of training for me. So I remember I was in Form 1, then so he was also in my school actually. So he was my senior. And when the Form 3s left school, finished and left school, he became the SU president.
Okay.
So, but then I was in, so I had now being come to Form 2. He was in Form 3. So he recruited me to be part of the SU executives. Though I didn't really qualify because, of course, it's only Form 3
what is
senior.
It?
Yes. But I think I was a deputy or assistant prayer something. I was in charge of prayer. So he trained me. Then along the line after school, I was with a church in Accra called Central Faith. That was actually where my mom fellowshipped. So during my secondary school days, I moved to stay with my daddy. But during the weekends, at times I could go to my mommy's place and we go to church. So because I was also very active in church, I was liked by my pastor, the main pastor of the church, Prophet Godfred Hackman Kwe. Yes, and the name of the church is Central Faith. So, but then we used to meet at Dakuma Nyameche. Yes. So I was there. I grew up there. He also, because he liked me, he also took me around when he's going for meeting at Appiah Mountains. But then I was in school, he would call my mom to come to the school
and ask for permission.
Yes, so I could go with him. So we go when he's going for. He used to preach at those days Channel O. Is it Channel O or Channel R? There used Channel R. Yes, the gospel station.
Yeah.
He used to go. I used to follow him. He takes me along. He has other things he does that he takes me along. So I followed him for some time. He actually took me to the Bible school. But by then, you know, I was still young. I didn't understand many of the things that were happening to me. Because to me, a lot of the things that happened by then happened a bit quickly. For me, I didn't really understand it much. Yes, because I felt that I was still in school. So in Bible school, but then I was also in secondary school and also in Bible school. I think when we were writing our final exams to graduate from the Bible school, it clashed with my
SSC
exams. Yes. So I had to choose between the two. It was a headache for me.
Of course, you needed your WASI too.
So I chose this. So I didn't graduate. So I left the school. So I stayed with him also for some time, and then my friend, whom I told you about, he is now even a bishop, Bishop Michael. He also took us to a place. There's a church in Dansuman runabout called Watered Garden. And the pastor is Prophet Achumanase. So we used to go every Friday evening to pray from 6 to 9. And then PM, yes. So from 6 to 9 we go there to pray. The church had prayer meetings 6 to 9 Friday evenings. So we go there and pray. Now after the prayer meeting, we go to Dansuman School Park to pray throughout the night. So I fell in love with the church. And so I joined that church. And so we continued there. I joined the prayer warriors. We were praying almost all the time by the grace of God. And so after secondary school, I actually stayed in the house for some time before I went to school again. At the point I had to decide between ministry and secular work. So I felt that, well, let me go to school and then later
you can do ministry.
So I went to the teacher training college at Ekropen. So when I went to school, that was when I joined Lighthouse, but then the campus church. Because my church then that I attended in Dansuma, we didn't have any branch in
So that is how the Lighthouse issue started. So, what made you fall in love so much with Lighthouse such that you became a pastor there?
Thank you.
Because you have moved from like 2 to 3 churches.
Yes. I must say that initially I struggled. Yes, I struggled because I had that kind of so to say, prophetic upbringing.
Okay.
The church my mommy attended, where I started from, the pastor was a prophet.
Where you moved to yourself, he was a prophet.
Is a prophet. So we have that kind of prophetic atmosphere. So when I went to school, I must say I didn't really enjoy this kind of lighthouse thing. It was that kind of, to me, it was that kind of really slow a bit.
As compared to the prophetic environment.
Thank you. So that is how. But then, you know, I worked in the end, because I actually began to just humble myself and learn. And try to listen, because of course. But then I remember I had seen Bishop Dag when I was a little younger on Metro TV. He used to teach Mega Word. Yes. So I just said, this man, I know him. You know, one time when I was in secondary school, we used to go to the Appiah Motor Forest to pray. As SU executives, we used to go to pray a lot. So in one of those sessions, you know, but then I tell you, we were so zealous. So at times when we are going, you know, when you are entering the forest, you cannot buy anything inside the forest. So if you have anything to buy, you buy before you enter the forest. So that's what we used to do. And one of such days, we used all our money to buy water and stuff. And then when we finished the prayer and we had to go back home, we didn't have money to go back home.
How? We used all the money to buy water
we had forgotten. Yes. So when we got to the roadside that day, we were also many a bit. We were quite a lot. When we got to the roadside, the money and us wouldn't reach all of us. So we took a decision that let's walk to Appiah Motor Station. Then when we get to Appiah Motor Station, we could either beg or maybe the little that is there, we could see how we can manage with it. So on our way coming to Appiah Motor Station, we saw Bishop Dag, but then we didn't know him. I didn't know him. And a few of his pastors, they were playing golf at the Appiah Motor golf course. So that was my first encounter with him. We ran to them to talk to them to help us. And he asked our names and all that thing. Asked one of his pastors to give us money.
Wow.
And he gave us. So he actually invited us to visit him at, but then the church was at Polygon. So we paid him a visit actually, but we couldn't see him one-on-one. Yeah, so that was my first encounter. So when I came to the school, at Kropo, I liked I said, oh, at least I've met this man before.
So let me give it a try. Yes. That's how it all started. So, did you go to their Bible school?
Yes.
Since you could not finish the first one, did you go to Lighthouse Bible School?
Yes, I attended Anakazu Bible School, but not in full time.
Part-time.
Part-time.
So tell us, how was life in the Bible school?
Well, what we do, I should say, we call it IPTP.
Meaning?
Informal Pastoral Training Program.
Okay.
So the formal one here means full time, where you go to the campus.
Okay.
You get it?
Okay.
But the informal one, you are home, but you are enrolled. So we do our lectures, everything is online. We have books, we study course materials, and then we write exams. When you pass, you are given approval. So after your approval, because there are a number of textbooks that you write or you study. So when you pass through the system, you are able to pass all your exams together with some other conditions you have to meet. Yes, so when you meet all those conditions.
Conditions like what?
Yes, for instance, before you even enroll in that program, you must be actively in the ministry. You must be active in terms of you must have a church that you are pastoring. Yes.
Before you go to the...
Before you are enrolled, it's one of the yes, it's one of the requirements.
So I cannot just buy forms and say I'm going to the...
You can buy forms
because I'm not a pastor. I'm not into ministry.
Yes, you can do that when you want to go full time.
Oh, okay. But if it's for part-time, you should already be pastoring a church.
It's a culture. It's our system. So you are already doing something. You are active.
Okay.
And then you will enroll, and then the enrollment is even by the recommendation of your bishop. Okay, so when the bishop recommends that yes, this person is here, is doing well, and then you will enroll. So after the course, then you'll be given approval and then a recommendation, and then you will be appointed. And
so that is for how long?
well, it depends. It depends. Mine took. There were a few issues along the line. You know, earlier when I came, I was telling you about some changes in our system. Yes. So those changes also affected my case, for instance. So mine took about 4 years, but it should take less. It should take less.
4 years.
Yes. Yes. It should take less.
By then you're already a pastor.
Yes, you are already in ministry. Pastoring a church, you have a church you are in charge of.
Okay.
Yes. So you asked the question, what are the conditions?
Yeah.
So one of the conditions is that the church you are in charge of or the church you are pastoring at least should be doing well before, after the course, you will be
doing well. Is it in terms of the numbers,
yes, everything,
the finances,
everything.
Okay.
Everything.
Okay.
And you as a person, you should be doing well. Yes. So the church, everything about you.
Is marriage a condition?
Well, not a condition.
It's not.
It's not.
So even though you're not married,
you can still
go.
Sure.
And if you finally come out, you'll be ordained.
Yes.
Okay. So now that you're already doing the work, and you're now in school.
Yes.
When then were you ordained?
My appointment came last year or last 2 years.
When did you complete the school?
Last 2 years.
Last 2 years?
Yes.
And so after completion?
You know, like I said, at times you may complete, okay, but you know, we have the way the system works. You would need your bishop's recommendation. So, you know, you asked me about Bishop Yale. I enrolled under Bishop Yale.
Okay.
When Bishop Yale was in Korea, he was my, we call it DMM. Bishop Yale was my DMM.
Okay.
And the DMM stands for Disciple Making Ministry. So he was in charge of me.
Okay.
So we used to go to meet him. He was the pastors who were enrolled in that course in this area were under him. He was more or less like our teacher or tutor. We used to go to meet him for, let me say, lectures, so to say. And then we study also. So when he left and then the change came, it delayed the whole system for some time. So that was
now your approval is in.
Yes. That is
and so, are you ordained after the approval, or you can be ordained before the approval?
No.
It's only after the approval.
Yes.
So when did you go for your ordination?
Well, that was last year.
Last year.
Yes.
So tell us, after all this up and down, working as a pastor but not being ordained, finally when a date was fixed for your ordination, how was the preparation towards it? How was the feeling like?
Well, I must say, to me it was an honor. It was an honor to be privileged because, like I said, I count not myself to have apprehended. I have an understanding in the work of God that it's not about your title per se. That's my understanding. Because somebody may not even be called a pastor or reverend.
Yeah.
But what the person does,
it's much more than somebody who is an ordained minister.
Sure. So I was happy. I was happy at last that I am being appointed and all that. But I was also a bit, I wished it didn't happen.
Why?
I just wanted to be around and still do my work.
So that you will not be an ordained minister, but you will just be doing God's work.
Yes.
Without a title.
Yes.
Why? Is the title that heavy?
Oh no, it's not heavy. It's normal, just that you see, it's an understanding that I have. Growing up, like I said, you know, I had friends who we started the ministry with in those days. Some of them are bishops today. Some of them are, so to say, gone ahead of me. But I am not really, I'm not saying I don't want to go, I don't want to make progress. That's not what I'm saying. But I believe that it's not about titles per se.
You are not in a race with anybody.
Thank you.
You are in a race with yourself. What you want to do best.
Sure. That's
because when you start racing with others, that is when you get disappointed.
That is it.
You'll be like, but this guy, I'm sharper than him. I used to do this more than him.
Yes.
How come he's now ahead of me? Then you get disappointed.
Yes.
But when you're racing against yourself, you don't have many issues.
Sure. That's it. So when the news came, I was WhatsApped by our administrator in Koforidua. Sent me a WhatsApp congratulating me. I was happy. But again, like I said, I just felt, yes. But then, you have to go through it. There's one thing about Bishop Dag many people don't know.
Okay.
It took him many years to even accept to be consecrated as a bishop. So I believe that perhaps the mind he had is the mind perhaps I'm also having. The fact that we are not looking at titles.
They just want to do the work and do it well.
Titles are very, very important.
Yes, they are.
It sets out, even in terms of management, all of us cannot be bosses.
No. So, definitely should be one ahead,
yes.
And another one follows.
Very, very good. So Bishop had to be convinced by his father, the Archbishop, Duncan Williams, and many other people to accept the fact that he needs to be consecrated as a bishop. And that was when. So I believe that virus is in us. I'm sure.
I see. So, are you into full-time ministry, or you are blending with the teaching?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, how are you blending the two? Being a teacher,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then a pastor. How are you blending these two professions?
Yes, it's quite involving, I must say, but it can be done, and we are trying. Because you have to prepare for school.
Yes.
You have to prepare for lessons.
Come back and mark homework.
Do many other things. So with the teaching, it takes more of your time. Then family also comes.
Exactly.
And then ministry work. But by the grace of God, we are pushing. Because what you need to know is that you need to know your priorities. You need to set
right.
Yes. You need to set these things out. Yes. So if you are able to do that
in that order,
then you can blend. All the other things can revolve around which thing you have considered very important, and then the other things will come along.
So, I think you have a head pastor, right?
Yes, yes.
So do you have other pastors under you?
Yes, we have. I have, at my branch, I have guys that are also coming up as pastors. I have people, we call them shepherds.
Yes, you call them shepherds. Yes, I know, you call them shepherds. So how are you able to manage the shepherds?
Yes, so in our mission here, in Untitled Missions, we are blessed to have one of the, I don't even know the words to use, one of the great men of God as our mission head.
Okay.
And God, through him, has led us to do many things that are helping us. One of the things we do is that after church, at our branches, we come along with all our shepherds And we also have people we call potential shepherds. People we see signs. Yes.
In them.
Yes.
And we bring them along.
So we have what we have here is what we call it meetings, but we call it there's a term we call it servants armed and trained.
Okay.
Servants armed and trained. That's what we have here. So that training section is for pastors, shepherds, potential shepherds. So we bring them along, and then they come to learn from the man of God here. And then we all share ideas. There have been times when anybody can be asked to lead a meeting to share anything, any pastor within the mission. So that is actually how we are also helping others to come along. There's one person in my church now who actually wants to go to the Bible school, and so we are working at that to see how best we can help him to go to the Bible school. He wants to go full time.
Okay.
So we are working at it. Hopefully this year, by the end of the year, he will go.
We force people into ministry, or you allow them to come by themselves?
Yes.
You allow them to come by themselves? Sure. Okay. So it's not that maybe I'm very vibrant at church, and then you are like, you have to go to the Bible school. Yes. It doesn't go like that.
No. So what we do is that, you see, when you look at the example of Samuel in the Bible, Samuel was in church, so to say, was staying with the priest, was serving in the house of God. So while in the house of God and in the service, running errands for the priest, that was when he heard the call, he heard the voice of God. Do you get me? So we have that understanding that a church member who lingers around after church, still around, because the average church member right after church is gone. Wants to go home, wants to relax.
At the end of service, she's gone, he's gone. So those who are still around,
lingering around, trying to do the pastor's bidding, is ready and available. You can
do this and he's done, do that and he's done.
We see the potential in such people. Okay. So we only guide you, groom you, encourage you. If you are willing, then we send you to the school.
So when you finally started as a pastor with Lighthouse, how long has it been?
So that's since 2014.
Have there been any challenges since you finally accepted your calling as a pastor, doing it and all that? Have there been any challenges?
Yes. Surely the work of God, you cannot say there are no challenges. There have been a few challenges here and there. Of course, you know, when we were talking earlier, we were talking about some of the issues with even attendance.
You get to church and there are just 5-6 people. You get very disappointed.
So these are one of the, it's a normal thing that we are running with. But again, you know, a pastor is like a military man. That's the training we have from the training that I have. A pastor is like a military man. If you are sent on the mission field, or if you are sent on peacekeeping, you are sent to fight in a war, you cannot say, oh, there's challenges here and that, and then you relax. Yes, so that's the understanding we have. We understand that, yes, there are challenges, but also you need to keep fighting and keep pressing.
So what has been your greatest challenge so far in ministry?
Yes. Well, I may not be able to say exactly a single thing per se, but like I said, we have issues with the general ministry work. You have issues of finance.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that I believe that every church or every pastor will come across along the line. Then, of course, support from people. You need people whom you can trust, people that
would understand your vision, people that would understand what the work you are doing, who would flow with you, who would support you, who would not criticize you, people who would not be disloyal to you, people who will be there for you, who will be there for you all the time. We need such people around. So one of the issues we've had, I believe I've also had my fair share of it, is the issue of finance, issue of having faithful people around who would run with you, who would follow you, and will be faithful to the work you are doing. That's one of the general issues we've had. So I cannot say a single issue, but of course there are a number of issues that are common to pastoral work.
I'll get back to you. Let me get a bit interactive with my viewers online.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
I have a message here from Felix Ahim. God's ministerial work isn't easy, but he that has called you won't fail you. Just serve in truth, honesty, and humility.
Wow.
That is from Felix Ahim.
I know Felix.
Okay.
Wow.
Felix, thanks. God bless you for joining us. And this is from beloved. I'm learning a lot from your sacred program. It gives me hope and joy, for I realized one should haste not in life. Keep it up, sis. Thanks, brah. I'm very grateful. That's my brother. He joins me every Sunday.
Wow.
Brother beloved, God richly bless you. Please keep your messages coming. Share the link. Like my page. Make sure your friends listen to us. They watch us. They will be blessed as you are being blessed every Sunday. God bless you. I want to believe you started the Old Chapel branch yourself.
Yes. No.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Somebody started and you came to.
Yes. Our pastor here, Reverend Morrison, he's a missionary here. He was sent here by Bishop Dag to start churches here. So when he came here, he started the New Tafo Church and also the Kokwantuni Church.
Oh, okay.
So he was moving up and down, and then Old Tafo. Now what happened in those days, he told us, was that he goes to Kokwantuni and does early morning service, Sunday service. With the shepherds and all the church leaders, and then in the evening, Sunday evening, he goes to Old Tafo to also have evening service with the few people that he had. So he also goes around, and it was a lot of work for him. So along the line, because of the nature of the work, and it was a little difficult for him to blend all these branches, working here, working in Kokwantuni, and then adding Old Tafo. So at a point, he had to close down the Old Tafo church. So he discontinued. So what happened was that the members there came here. A few of them who could come were coming. So I joined the church here in 2013. I had moved here with my family. But then I got married in 2012. So I moved here with my wife, and that was when I joined the church here. So in 2015, he asked me to go and restart the Old Tafo church. So that was when I started the church in Old Tafo.
Okay. In fact, I really enjoy my session today with Pastor Daniel Adusah Appiah.
Yes.
But I would he has to come back here to give us more information. We want to know a lot about him. We want to share a lot of his life story. It's very interesting, blending teaching, ministerial work, marriage, and all that. it's not been easy, like he's saying. But I would like to take probably a last submission from him, and then we'll see what happens next Sunday, so that he will join me here again, and then we'll get to learn more about him. But before I get back to him, let me pick a few more messages.
All right.
Yes. This is from Skyborn.
Okay.
Sister Matilda, God really bless you and Charis Multimedia. Thanks, God bless you too. Appiah, great work, says. Thanks, dear. Brian Wave Creation.
Yes.
Yeah. Preach, Pastor Dan.
That's one of our pastors.
Okay. Yes, I'm really enjoying Pastor Dan this evening in my studio. But fortunately and unfortunately, I have to get you back here again next Sunday.
Mercy. Mercy.
I hope you make time to join me next Sunday.
Let's believe God to see it.
Of course, we'll be believing God so that you can join us and share more of your life stories with us. But in wrapping up, tell us, how has it impacted your life since you became a pastor? How has your life been impacted?
The Bible says that pastoral ministry is by far one of the greatest and the best.
What has ever happened to you?
Yes, in the world actually, and that's what I am privileged to be involved with. Yes, there are challenges here and there, but to me it's the best. One of the things that pastoral ministry has helped me, or the ministry work has helped me to, it has shaped my life. It has even helped me to even become a better husband to my wife. It has helped me to become a better teacher even in the work I do. Because there are many things I have learned from pastoral work that I apply in my teaching when I teach.
Okay.
And there are things I tell my students, but many of the things I tell them I learned from my work as a pastor. Many of the things I say, many of the stories I share with them when I'm teaching, I learned from my work in the ministry.
Wow.
Yes. So it's really a pleasure and it's really a great thing to serve the Lord.
Now, in your final submission, what advice do you have for somebody who is struggling to accept a calling? To become a pastor, he's struggling to accept that calling. What advice do you have for the person?
Yes, I would say that don't struggle to accept God's calling. Don't struggle. When God calls you, it's a promotion for you. What else can you use your life? What else could your life have become? Or what big thing could have come out of your life apart from serving God? I believe that many people would like to work in the office of the president if we had a chance.
The opportunity to.
If we had a chance to even be cleaners in the State House or the White House in America, we would be proud of it and would show our credentials, our complimentary cards to say that yes, I work in the office of the president, I work at the Flagstaff House. So if we would be so proud to and so happy if we were doing that work, what would be the joy and what should be the joy if we have been called by the one who is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, the creator of heaven and earth. He says, come and work for me. It's a great thing. So whoever you are watching, whoever you are, if God has called you, I want you to understand that it is an honor. It is a privilege. If you can do anything, or you'd be ready to do anything to have a job in the White House, why wouldn't you do the same?
to serve the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. It's by far the best.
Reverend Dan says, by far, it is the best respect to do the work of God. It's the best thing that would ever happen to your life. In fact, as you live here on earth, it's the best thing that would ever have happened to you. Maybe you would like to take this opportunity to say hello to a few people, and probably thank you to some people in your life. You can do that.
Thank you very much. I want to say, first of all, I want to say thanks to God for everything that I am today. I wouldn't be here. I believe that I would have died by now if God didn't be on my side. I've had issues, I've had many challenges growing up, but I believe that God has been merciful to me. And I want to say thank you to God for bringing me this. But I want to also thank God for the life of Bishop Dagwood Mills, that God called him around the time that he called him. And I want to thank God for his life because he obeyed God. Because a lot of people wouldn't have obeyed. He was a medical doctor, but he decided to obey God and do the work of God fully and put aside his medical profession. I believe that if he hadn't obeyed God to that extent, perhaps some of us wouldn't have come into the light at all. So I want to thank God so much for his life, wherever he is. God bless him. He's right now having crusades in the northern part of Ghana. Yes, and I pray for God to use him mightily. And I also want to thank God for my pastor here, my father here, Reverend Morrison. God bless you. Thank you so much for believing in some of us, for all your prayers, guidance, and helping us to be where we are. I want to thank God for my mommy. I want to say hello to her. Mommy, thank you for being there for me. I appreciate all that you do for me. And I also want to say I love you. Thank you for everything. I also want to say hi to my wife and children who are watching. I have 3 kids. I have 2 boys and a girl. I want to say thank you so much for your support. I believe that I am married to one of the best women in the world. I believe so because she has made me what I am. I always tell her, even when I preach, I talk about it. I say that if I were not to be married to her, perhaps I wouldn't be doing the work of God. Because not every man that will support the wife to do the work of God.
The husband to do the work.
The husband to do the work of God, sure. So thank her so much for the support and everything. And I want to say hello to all the pastors and all my friends, my colleagues at the workplace. I want to say hello to everyone. Thank you for watching, and God bless you all. Thank you for having me here. And I have to say that I've enjoyed my time here too.
Thank you very much.
I want to say hello to Apostle, my father, my good friend, who has loved me. I tell him all the time that I'm one of his sons who is not in his church, but I'm a son. So my friends here, Pastor Evans, Reverend Seth, and all the pastors here are my brothers, are my senior brothers. I'm their junior brother. And I want to say thank you so much, Daddy, for giving me the privilege to be here. God bless you for the good work you are doing. And I believe that God has more for you. And God will do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me pick just last 2 messages, then we wrap up. This from Cynthia Noshi. I'm learning a lot. God bless you. And from Melvina Mottor. Good evening, sis. God bless you and Pastor. I enjoyed the program. Keep the fire burning. Thanks, sis. I'm grateful that he always joined me every Sunday. And on this note, I've been in the studio here with Pastor Daniel Adusah Appiah. He's the head pastor with Makane Church International, Old Tapo. It's been interesting talking with him. I have been blessed, and I know you have been blessed too. But let's keep our fingers crossed if we can get him back into the studio again to share more with us. And I also like to say a big thank you to my technical team for always been on point for me to do what I love to do best. Thank you to Sister Jane, Brother Chris, Sister Lilibet, and Reverend Agbenyega. I say I am grateful to all of you. And to Papa, Apostle George Tumesi Ankara, a very big thank you to you. God bless you for all that you do for us. And to your lovely wife, Lady Reverend Irene Tumesi Ankara. Mommy, we say we are grateful. Make a date with him, with me, same time next Sunday. It's been me, your regular host, Matilda, Mama Sai Mottor, and it is bye-bye for now.